Yes, we are here, we are here, we are here. And we are of service once again to be able to help assist you. We understand your thoughts and feelings on the matter of enlightenment. And yes, it's very correct to your assumptions of what we have been trying to share with you, to teach with you, to impress on you, to guide you, to show you, to lead you, to encourage you, to inspire you to have enlightenment. It is all wonderful to have enlightenment in a third dimensional life because you have that profound neutrality and acceptance of all, love of all. You love all the purposes, you love all the lessons, you love all the experiences, you love all the growth, you love all the interactions, you love it all, with no exceptions. And so this is why we have struggled to be able to impress on you the significance and importance of love of self and love of all. We often hear you and feel you thinking, how do I love myself? I think I love myself. I might love myself. Ooh, does this look selfish? Ooh, does this look negative? Ooh, 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 ooh. You ponder to yourself. This is not what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to be doing something else. Loving self sounds like almost public masturbation, and I'm not interested in that. Thank you very much. And you know, we're not suggesting for a second to do that. We know that some places that's illegal. However, loving of oneself must be part of your journey. And while you may not be treating yourself like your best friend and giving yourself reward systems and gold stars and not just physical treats, but mental treats. Saying something kind about yourself and believing it could be the start of a beautiful relationship that you have with yourself. Instead, some of you choose to do certain things like this. They will see one freckle on your entire body and say, there you go, freckle, I'm not perfect. And therefore, believe that they're not perfect and therefore present themselves to the world as not being perfect and then manifest not being perfect. And we say you chose that freckle to remind yourself that you cannot be perfect in the sense of how you idealize what perfection looks like. However, from our perspective, you are absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, completely perfect. How on goodness gracious could you ever for a second assume any other? And we want to say to you, well, some of you are obsessed about the crimes against humanity. The biggest crime against humanity is love lacking perception of self. And that is what we would perceive as the biggest crime. And you've all been guilty of it. So what level of degree of lack of love, self, are you guilty of? Are you still thinking you're not good enough? Or not connected enough? Or not being of service enough? Or not being important enough? What dialogue are you saying to yourself to convince yourself that you are of lack? It is not possible for you to truly be in lack. And so we hear some saying, well, what about our bank accounts? Our bank accounts are surely suggesting to us we have a lack. And we would like to lovingly remind you, money does not buy inner peace. Money does not buy you access to things that you assume gives you privilege to. All of what you are needing to do to enlighten yourself is free. Therefore, you're all completely ready and have full access to it when you choose. When you choose. You cannot pay for someone to do your inner work. You cannot pay for someone to enlighten you. You must accept your responsibilities to fully accept self and love self for all. So, what are you saying to us that you're trying to convince us that you can't love yourself fully? What is the dialogue and excuses you're trying to convince us that you can't possibly love yourself anymore because of X, Y, and Z? And we're saying these are excuses for you. You're not convincing us, and we will never change our minds, because our perception of you is much greater and of higher value than you seem to bestow on yourselves. So work diligently, be of service to us, and profoundly love self. Treat yourself to walks in nature. Treat yourselves to water. Treat yourselves to having that stillness within, to feel that peace within, to notice your balance, to notice your inner peace that you choose to continue your days with. We understand that many people want to distract themselves away from their own needs because they think that others' needs must be met before their own. And we're saying, look at those. Look at that mindset, because that is tripping you up from being of service to self. You cannot fully profoundly empower others if you're still lacking some fundamental stepping stones for your own growth and journey. Would you take advice from someone who had lack of self-love and didn't respect themselves? Because then what kind of advice and opinions and inspirations could they bestow on you? Potentially there would be limits of blocks and information there because they have not completely empowered themselves. Each block that you hold yourself back from loving yourself profoundly and loving others is a block and wedge that you're placing between us. Because if you can't fully love yourself, you will be doubting yourself and then doubting the information we give you. Can you see that you are blocking us? Because part of the inner work of loving self is overcoming self-doubt. And when you can overcome self-doubt, then you've opened yourself up to be a full channel to us. Isn't that motivational for you? Isn't that literally what you're hoping for, is profound enlightenment? And so some may say, well, I love myself. I think I'm fantastic. Everything I've ever done is absolutely perfect and I'm a gem to humanity. And we say, okay, so then how are you then treating others? Are you still seeing certain countries as below you? Are you still seeing certain people as below you? How are you perceiving yourself amongst your friends, family, societies, and this planet? Are you still seeing animals as less than you? Do you still see certain other species as less than you? And in which way are you judging less than? Do you have a smaller ego and feeling like everyone is better than you and you're insignificant and meaningless and not of importance? How are you comparing yourself to others? It's a very good, honest question you must be able to ask yourselves. And we say to those people who are afraid to ask themselves these questions, why? Yes, yes indeed. The truth is scary. people run from the truth because they don't want to believe the truth and trust the truth. Because once you accept the truth, then you have to apply it. And that is a big problem for many. They want to be in denial and distract themselves from stepping up. We understand that many people listen to these sessions and hear certain things that serves them well, and then they misconstrue the information and project that as if that is what we are saying. We see that. And we would like to say for those people who are listening to these sessions, please apply them as we are trying to share the information with you. Do not add fear on. Process it with maturity, because part of the bonus about being enlightened is you have spiritual maturity. If you're still judging others, if you still think others above or below you, that is immaturity. If you're still afraid of different species, afraid of goblins, afraid of the monsters, afraid of the devil, we have discussed this. You must be able to see things from that neutral position of maturity and higher perspective. Face those fears, face those judgments. Do your homework, we say with much love. You're very capable of doing your homework. And the reward of removing all of your blocks to be of better connection to us is well worth it. That inner peace is deliciously enjoyable. So we want you to listen to this one a few times and really take in what people or what thoughts suddenly pop into your mind, because this is your work to overcome, either strengthen yourselves to or humble yourselves to. And it's quite often normal to have to humble yourselves to some certain things and strengthen yourselves to some certain things. So, while you all have a tendency to feel like you own your families and you must be able to guide them with this information of what your beliefs are, your families are really to teach you different things. You're not to rule your families. You're supposed to show compassion at where people are at. You find your communities and you share your higher perspectives, you share your higher wisdom, and you have friendships that way. But most of you feel, because the family is so close to you, you need to shock them with the bigger information and guide them and potentially block them from their own growth because you are too firm or too keen. You know, those people who you needed to share this information from, who reacted to the information and dismissed it instantly. Forgive them, they did not listen to our sessions. And we would like to remind people who are listening to these sessions are for you. You, yes, you, we're talking to you. You need to listen and apply and learn and grow. And we know there are some who have listened to our sessions and think we're not talking to you about doing your inner work, and that somehow you're exempt from loving others and being of service to others profoundly. So watch your reactions. Are you still enabling others? Are you still disempowering others? Ultimately, you must respect all. Ultimately, you must love all. Seek the lessons, seek the purposes, seek the experiences, keep balanced, keep neutral, and master it. Master it. We have been talking to you for a very long time about this. And so it is about applying it now. It's very achievable. And we encourage many to do it at this incredibly important time. And we also want to say, this is not a hobby way of life. You must be able to keep it up with all of your choices and all of your days. If you never listen to another session ever again, moving forward, would you forget all the teachable moments that we shared with you? Or are you firm enough now to be in complete strength of empowerment and be able to lovingly guide and support others to their own empowerment? Often, by teaching others, it is not about telling them all the steps that they need. It is about showing them. It is about suggesting seeds for them to make those choices. They have not chosen imprint lives. They want to live these physical lives, to be guided with love. And you know that there is tough love that still gets the end result of growth. So don't confuse your definition of what love is. We're saying some of you may need tough love on self. You're still holding on to some blocks and beliefs that you're not good enough. It simply must be resolved. Why are you still holding on to it? Are you afraid that if you leave everything that no longer serves you behind, are you afraid then that you still won't be worthy? That humanity will not love you as you should be loved? What is it that is making you still choose to hold on to things that no longer serve you? Treat these lessons as a way of life over a mere hobby. We are lovingly guiding you. We are and always have had the true pure agenda to empower you towards enlightenment. We can push you, we can guide you, we can inspire you, we can encourage you, but it is solely up to you to make the choices to do this for yourself. And if you truly want to help humanity, there is no shortcuts to helping humanity. This is how you help humanity. By profoundly loving self and profoundly loving others, accepting all. There is no one person that you are allowed to hate or have judgment on. You have to accept their role they're playing for the play you're currently in. Where is your judgment? Where is your sticking points? Where have you not found neutrality? It can easily be released instantly when you realize that this is an old habit of an old routine that no longer serves you. Your belief systems are so much more advanced now. You really just have to locate where these little sticking points are. And as the collectives that are speaking to you now are very excited, because we know you truly want to be of service. But somewhere along the line, you've got a little bit sidetracked, a little bit distracted, a little bit unsure of oneself. And we want to tell you, when you are unsure of if your growth is actually occurring and you're expanding, one sure sign for you to know you're growing is that others will notice your change. And they will deeply react to it because suddenly you're different. You're resonating at a higher frequency and you're almost not the same person. But of course you are. But your balance is more profound. You're not reacting the same way that they like you to react. This is unsettling to them because they haven't got the privy to be able to grow and advance the way you have, because you are being rewarded through listening to these sessions and keeping yourself at this higher frequency level when you listen to our information. You are doing good. And some of you are strengthening yourselves in great areas, and you just need a little bit more strength in other areas. And it is all fine. It is a beautiful journey. Beautiful journey. But the reason why we have come here, and we keep coming here, and the reason why you keep coming to listen to us, is to be able to just keep guiding you, because some of you are still having those blocks to not hear us directly. And so we are very clearly speaking to you. And we love you. This is why we've always wanted to help you. Without a doubt, we have not breached your free will, because you choose to listen to these sessions and you're using your free will to be able to seek, how does one achieve enlightenment? Have you found your neutral with this medical creation that is currently in your planet right now? What else have you struggled to find your neutral? Is it political? Is it educational? Is it employment? Is it financial? Is it weather? What is it still that you're not able to find your neutral and acceptance and understand and trust the purpose of all is significant? And it may not be your lessons that these certain things are happening. It may be for others. So, grab yourself a beautiful glass of water. Enjoy the high frequency vibrations that is bestowed upon you when you allow yourself to have more fluid of high frequency vibration. See what you're doing in your daily lives that are distracting you. Enjoy spending more time consciously trying to find that balance in neutral. Every time you sit down, be consciously aware of what muscles you're still tense with and release it. Every time you are standing up, consciously be noticing what muscles you're still clenching and release them. Relax. Let go. Let go. It is going to be okay if you let go. We understand that you sometimes perceive if you have to let go of the 3D, you may not like the 5D. You may not like the new changes. And how can I go back? Oh no, I don't want change. I want to see 5D in full completion first before I make my choices whether I want to be there or not. And we say that is very much a conscious ego dialogue you're having with yourself when you are trying to plan things that way. Trust. Trust yourselves. You wrote your life contract. You wrote your future experiences that you are going to have. And part of loving self completely is trusting yourself completely that you have made the best choice for you. We know we've given you a lot to think about today. Love is always the key. Keeping high vibration is always the key. Loving each other as versions of self is always the key. And we know you're seeking that key of all for that profound empowerment, for that profound enlightenment. It's very achievable. We are waiting to give you all gold stars. You're waiting to give yourself all gold stars. And we say this, of course, with so much love.